So my name's Scott Gowans. I'm very pleased to be appointed the senior coach at Diamond Creek Women's Footy Club, and looking forward to the challenge. And I suppose with my background coming from youth girls at Dandenong Stingrays level and at Vic Country, it was a natural progression to look for a role in the women's VFL. And then I was also lucky enough to get the Carlton assistant coach role there, so I'm doing defence and senior assistant. And I think this just tops it off nicely for me. So my background basically started off at Fountain Gate Junior Footy Club as a coach of my son, and my stepdaughter's also played there. Then the interest sort of peaked again, I suppose. I hadn't been involved in footy at any level for about 10 years prior to that, and then I think it was just something sparked again in the mind to get back involved. Started off as an assistant level, under 16s, and then moved on from there. And then my good friend Dean Rice was coaching at Berwick and asked me if I'd be involved as a runner, game plan, all that sort of stuff. Then got onto the match committee there. I loved my time at Berwick, and then I had the taste for senior footy again. So I did that for a couple of years, moved on to Longwarry, again senior assistant under Dean, then took over the coaching role. Did that, it was 5 years there, and that had its challenges as far as the distance and sort of country footy, where you've got to pull together lists from 8 or 9 players and try and get teams together, versus where Berwick you had so many numbers you were cutting players, so it gave me both perspectives. Different styles of footy at both levels, but then I was also lucky enough while at Longwarry to get asked to do the Dandenong Stingrays Youth Girls Academy. So I did that. I really enjoyed that, and from there Vic Metro, I was an assistant coach at Vic Metro, then got the role this year at Vic Country as head coach. And I suppose in a nutshell that's sort of my background from a coaching perspective. Obviously following on from Tanya, who did an amazing job. I was lucky enough to see 5 games live and then a few games on Vision. Listen closely to Tanya, and yeah, she's going to be a gun coach one day, and I'm hoping that she'll stick with it and help me out this year as well. So what excites me about becoming the coach at Diamond Creek is, I think from the perspective of speaking with Chris and Scott, they really sold the idea of wanting to take the club as a whole to the next level, both off field and on field. And took me out to see the facilities that they're getting, the new surface at Diamond Creek, and I just think they sold the idea of wanting to grab a committed bunch of players and taking them to the next level. So I feel as though I've got something to offer in that space. So the players will be definitely challenged, but I think it's important to realise that the girls overall already have a certain level of commitment. It's probably just harnessing that and developing that in a different way, more so than coming in and going and changing everything. I think the progression has to be, for VFL women's footy in general, I think needs to step up a level as far as not so much the structures and things like that, but just the commitment to continuing to play a certain style. And I reckon that what will happen, you'll find that the players that are getting that AFL experience will get a level of coaching and expertise in an elite environment, come back to the VFL, and I think the standard will naturally progress. So it's really important that the players that are in that development phase, missed out on the draft, still have that level of, I suppose, space, if you like, to create and show their flair, so that next year they're in a position to be drafted. So the players we take on pre-season that'll be training with us will have every opportunity, and so I suppose my goals are just to harness all that together next year, and that should give us a pretty good VFL side.